Good afternoon, everyone. This is Steve Carver, and I'm so glad to have y'all in class with us tonight online. This is my presentation number 1118 on my journey into entrepreneurship. So thanks for joining me, and thanks for letting me join you in your journey to entrepreneurship. Let me just tell you right up front, I am not a lawyer or an accountant. I'm just a fellow that's been in business for a long time and is glad to share my ups and my downs and my pitfalls and successes and some really good strategies to help you have an easier path into entrepreneurship. So thank you all for joining us. Always my first advice is to you, before you make a major decision affecting your business or your security, it's a good idea to get a second opinion, find a mentor, talk it over, don't act too fast, because these decisions are really important as you're first getting started. And a good place to get them if you're in North Carolina is at your community colleges, small business centers. Each one of the community colleges have a small business center, and in there is plenty of staff to help you work through your business issues, and it's no charge, free to you to help entrepreneurs. We're sponsored tonight by the Small Business Center of James Sprunk Community College at Kenansville and Warsaw, North Carolina. And Joey Wynn is the director there. She may join us a little later and have something to say. But we're so glad that Joey is allowing us to put these shows on for you. They're very effective. This is probably my 15th year with James Sprunk Small Business Center. So I've been in touch with a lot of people and glad to have y'all all on board. You want to get an appointment with Joy and sit down and see how she can help you get your business up and running. The email is on the slide in front of you now, and her phone number, in case you're not seeing the slide, is 910-659-6008. 910-659-6008. And she'll set up an appointment for you and with you, either her place or if you're in her area, she'll go meet with you. If you're not in the Dublin County area or Greene County area, just let me know if you'd like to have a meeting with the Small Business Center nearest you, and I'll be glad to put y'all in touch, okay? Tomorrow, after the meeting, or maybe even late tonight, you'll get a survey form. Please take 60 seconds and fill that out and send it back. They rely on these forms to make our webinars better, and we certainly want your input. So take a minute and answer that email. We'd really appreciate it. Tonight represents part 2, the second in a 7-part series of basically covering all the bases to help someone get their business started. And you are indeed glad that I'll go steady with you for the next 6 weeks if you'd like and have a Wednesday night date. And you're certainly welcome to come when you can. We enjoy folks who attend all the sessions, or at least 5 out of the 7 sessions, and earn certificates and awards if you want to take it to that. But I do encourage you to, even though the log-on information will be the same for every one of these seminars, I really encourage you to go to the Small Business Center site where you register and go ahead and click through and pre-register for all the events coming up, and that way you won't have to worry about doing it in the future, and you will get a reminder and the study guides if you do that. So please take time to register for as many events as you can, even if you don't know if you can attend or not. Pre-register, and then you won't have to worry about it. Joy has probably sent to you, and if she has not, I will tomorrow, study guides. That's Word files where I've got notes and study guides related to different topics that we'll discuss tonight. The study guides go into a more depth and will serve as good for your business planner, and I certainly hope that you'll pay attention to those. One of them is what we call the 30 drill skills, which we'll talk about a little later. But that study guide has the link to videos where I've done each one of the drill skills, so you can study on those and go for it. There's also information on the homework assignments if you want to go forward. Information on starting a nonprofit if you want to go forward. So let me ask you, well, first of all, we're getting a wonderful group with us tonight. Let me ask you a question to start exercising on chat or not. How about going to your chat button if you have it available and type in there if you are interested in a for-profit business or a non-profit business. Now, I know we're all interested in making money, but if you're interested in non-profit, let me know. Or if you're primarily for-profit, let me know. If I have a good group of nonprofits, then I will pay more attention to that as the series progresses. Otherwise, there is a handout for you tonight with some nonprofit information, and I can send more if you ask for that. It looks like that we've got some for-profits so far, no nonprofits. So thank you for entering that. And use that chat button. I may not be able to answer while we're talking, but it would be helpful for you to make your request in chat, and then tonight or tomorrow I'll answer any questions or requests that you have. If you want to get my attention, use that hand, raise your hand in the reactions placed down at the bottom of your screen where you can stick a finger up or wave or something like that. And you are invited to interrupt me at any time. I'll try to answer your questions then or tell you I know I'll answer them in a few minutes, but thanks so much for doing that. Let me tell you that in the course of this series, I'm going to offer a lot of stuff, more stuff than you can actually consume in one trip or in one meeting. That's why I spend extra attention to send you the handouts and the YouTube videos. But I will encourage you to do a lot and to do some homework, but that's basically what I feel like I'm supposed to do. But I want you to know you're welcome to come and take what you want and enjoy it. Don't feel like you're under any pressure whatsoever. You want to go the extra mile, we'll be right here for you. If you just want to sit back and enjoy the series and come when you can, that's okay as well. So last night we had Pamela, or last week we had Pamela and Darcy and Sarita and Charlene joined us. I'll keep a record of attendance, and again, you need to attend at least 5 of the 7 presentations. And if you've attended previous classes and weren't able to make them all, and you're doing makeup in this series, I'll be glad to give you credit for the classes you attended in the past. But attend our classes and go through the whole process, become members in what we call our Academy of Entrepreneurs and Associates, and after that we really do all we can to help support and help each other and promote everyone's business. So you can go to Facebook and you can see the Academy of Entrepreneurs and Associates, join there and see what we've been doing in the past if you haven't been a part of that. I'll focus on you as individuals if you send me information about your business and what you're up to through the course of the series. And each week we'll learn more and more and more about each other. And as I know what type of business that you're in or what steps you're trying to take it to, we can be a whole lot more effective. So send in any links related to your business, photos, such as that. If you have a Google your business on Google account, let me know about that. If you have a YouTube channel, send me an email back. Give me all the information you can about you and your business, and we'll start promoting you every week and then on our other websites. We're all about trying to help entrepreneurs and new business get started and grow into the next step. My job is to motivate, and I take it very seriously. I'll work very hard for you and for the whole class for this series, and I'll need to be assertive to do that, as I'm going to encourage y'all to do, and to become more assertive as you move in your business. One thing we're doing this year that we hadn't done in the past is each week we're going to talk about a particular word through the series that we might want to use in our vocabulary, but maybe to own it to become more effective entrepreneurs. And I'm using the ostrich head there to keep us in focus. So last week, the word for be fat. I'm good and fat. I got a great big belly in front of me, but that's not what I'm talking about. I want us all to be fat, and fat being the F-A-T part. F for being faithful, A for being available, and T for being teachable. And that's saying by being this kind of fat, we're going to open ourselves up to be faithful to each other and to our business and to the people that are dependent on us, to make ourselves available to do this business, and to our customers, make ourselves available to be there for them. If you don't say you're going to be there, dependable, and to be teachable. That is, not to pretend or think in some way that we know it all, because we do not. I can assure you. And if that message is coming across to your potential customers, that you know it all and you don't have anything new to learn, then you're going to hurt your ability to start a new relationship. Opening ourselves up is so important. I'm 77 years old, been in business for 54 years, and I learn new stuff every day from my customers and from my vendors, and I appreciate the fact that I'm a long way from being a dumbass, but I know a lot, but I've got a lot to learn, especially in these changing times. So we need that attitude to be able to soak in information and stay with it through this series. The word in our second week tonight we're going to introduce is committed. Committed. Having a feeling of being dedicated and loyal. You need that for your business. If you're going to be serious about moving your business forward, you need to be dedicated and loyal to it and to yourself. We need to be faithful and devoted. That is to take it very serious if we don't spend time and energy to do it. And lastly, to be solid, anchored, more or less being pledged that I'm making a commitment to myself and to the other folks around me that I'm going to hang in there and see this through. So be fat and committed are our first two words for our first 2 weeks. And in future weeks, I'll be asking you in chat to see how many of these words you remember as we go along. Your homework challenges through the series, there'll be quite a few of them. Do what you can, do what you want to do, but every one of them is designed to help you be a better business person with a sustainable business and less stress. So I encourage you to do mission and vision statements, name your profit centers, create Facebook and personal pages so that we can see our businesses start to grow. And we encourage you to find me on Facebook. My name is Steve Carver. My background screen is just blue sky, so try to find me on Facebook and like me. Let me know you're there. We've also got pages for 360 Business and for Carver Equipment. Carver Equipment is my main income source and has been for 50-some years. Carver Equipment Company is a retailer of farm equipment implements, and I use that website as a teaching tool as we go through. So I doubt that many of you are into farm equipment implements, but I want all of you to be into carverequipment.com. Go ahead and visit there. Let me know that you did, and you'll see some strategies that we use that other people do not, and they're very effective. Today I started at 6 a.m. I didn't stop at 5:30 a.m. answering email and questions with customers. Had a great day and glad to have it. Springtime in the farm equipment business is when we're our busiest time. So please go there. You will see a lot of different strategies that I'll be teaching all through this session. So my job is to motivate. Your job will be to find the endurance to stay in the game. Not necessarily to stay in this series, but to stay in the game of entrepreneurship, because it's so easy to get started and get frustrated and quit. It's so hard to stay in it long enough to learn the little secrets and the little strategies and the little details that you can learn about customers and how to create relationships and advertising, marketing, and pricing. Stay in the game long enough to get good at it, and then you'll be so glad that you did. 40 drill skills, different strategies and tips that'll make it easier to have a successful business. We've got 40 of them. The first several weeks, I'm going to do about 8 of them each night, just so you'll get into the feel of it, and hopefully go to that handout that's been emailed to you, and get into it yourself so you can do it. So let's talk about the first skills. Last week, our first week, we covered 8 of them. I'll go through these very quickly. I don't want to spend too much time on them. because we'll work on each one of these to come up during our teaching lessons later on. We all need a business plan, which is important tonight. A business plan is going to tell us what's left. What's left, that's the word I want you to remember. We want to know what's left in money after we subtract our expenses from our projected income. We want a good marketing plan, number two. We want a marketing plan that's going to tell us what's next. That is, we know that we're going to be able to stay in business and we will have income coming in the future because we've got a market plan that's giving us the information about what's next. Very important. We'll dive deep into that next week. There are marketable profit centers. Profit centers are what you're doing in your business that generates income. And there's three basic types. Those that create new business every day. Those that create repeat business and keep bringing traffic back. And then there are those for big ticket items. Those are the three types, and you want at least one of all three of those types, but you want at least 5 profit centers in your business to be sustainable. An RFC is a raving fan customer. That is a customer that does business with you, goes out into the world and promotes you and encourages other people to come and do business with you as well. We want those. They're very valuable. NDCP stands for no demand, change the plan. That is teaching us that we're going to work hard on putting together our business plans and budgets and such as that. But I'm telling you right now, there will be some changes that have to be made. That is what it is. A business plan always has to be changed. So if there's no demand for certain profit centers, don't throw away your business plan. Let's just work on those particular profit centers. I'll show you how to do that tonight. ABCD, like a real estate agent will always tell you, will always be closing. Always be connecting the dots is ABCD. And that is, we don't have dots, decisions, that's what that stands for, decisions that we're making all the time. And we want to make sure as we're making decisions that we're creating a circle that will roll smoothly. That is, it makes sense. And if we start making decisions outside of the circle, we're automatically putting bumps in our road. We're for a rough ride if our decision making gets that kind of out of sorts and we don't connect those dots properly. Now, if you're planning on getting a tattoo tomorrow, here's what I don't want it to be if you're going to be an entrepreneur. 3 words, by the way. By the way, that is the password to upsells and cross sales, and it's the password to stacking profits. Now, don't that sound good, stacking profits? That's what we want to do. By the way, that is all about our merchandising and our marketing, and next week we'll dive deep into that. I want you to pay close attention to it because it'll really help you. I love to fish, or I used to fish a lot in the ocean, and there was three rules that if I followed, I would always catch fish when I went fishing. 3 rules, and I will always catch fish. And those rules are, number 1, keep fresh bait in the water. Number 2, keep fresh bait in the water. And number 3, guess what that is? Keep fresh bait in the water. You may not catch the particular fish you were fishing for, but you'll catch something. So what's that got to do with tonight? Everything, because we want to catch customers. We want to catch customers, and the same 3 rules apply. Keep fresh promotions going out. Keep fresh promotions going out. Keep continuous promotions going out. And if you do a good job with your marketing and your promotions, and you've got targeted audiences, you will catch fish, you will catch customers. So keep sending out fresh promotions. Very, very important. So that's what we talked about last week. Now, let's talk about this week's words. The best way to find customers, now remember this because this is week 4, the best way to find customers is to help them find you. Say that to yourself. The best way for me to find customers is to help those customers find me. Because if we have that attitude, we'll set up our marketing campaign like a magnet that brings people to us. and we won't have to do so much going out and beating on doors and spreading ourselves thin. But if we help customers find us, it will be a lot easier to get started with a good, sustainable business. Number 10. We're not a Walmart, we're not Target, we're not Food Line. Our business cannot be all things to all people. My business nor your business. We just cannot do it. There's no reason to pretend that we can. So setting the mindset, which is the theme of this whole series, setting the mindset, knowing that we can't be all things to all people. However, we must be, and the word here is everything to some people. We must be everything to some people. And when we do that, and I'm going to show you how, these people will become your raving fan customers. That's the ultimate goal, to have as many raving fan customers as we can. So the question is to you, what is the best way to find people? The answer, help them find you. Can you be everything to all people? No, but you can be everything to some people, and that's how you'll create those raving fan customers. Number 10, I'm just laying this out early, because as we're talking about budgeting and spending money later on, if you're going into debt and you have some long-term debt, do not pay off long-term debt with short-term cash flow, because it's so easy to do. You have a good week or a good month, you got some extra money, you say, okay, I'm going to reduce this debt and pay some extra on this debt. Then you use up your extra cash, and next month something comes along and you needed that extra cash. So I caution you not to get excited and pay off your debts early. Pay them off as you plan to do it and as they're paying their own way. Otherwise, you will go broke. Why do I say that? Because it happens, and it happens a lot, and I've seen it a lot through the years. You don't need to understand that as we're talking during this class, let's separate marketing from advertising and look at them as separate entities. It's going to be important. Why? Because marketing, we need to consider it for the long term. Marketing for the long term.
And marketing on liquidation.
Yes, I hear you. Can I help you? Okay, I'm going to mute that microphone. All righty. I'm hoping everyone can hear me okay. If you can hear me okay, how about going to chat and letting me know that I'm coming through all right? Just say okay or whatever. We had some audio problems early. I'm getting the thumbs up there from Charlene. Okay, great. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'll move on and keep talking. So marketing is for the long term. Advertising, let's put another word with advertising. That would be targeted advertising. We're going to look at that as for the short term. Marketing for staying out there all the time. Advertising when we've got something special we want to do and we don't want to waste money when we're promoting with big expensive ads. Who is going to be your biggest competitor? Who's going to be the meanest competitor and the strongest? The answer is easy. It's us, is you and your distractions in your life. We all have distractions that we have to look after. We've got our other jobs, we've got children, maybe some parents we're looking after, and who knows what else. There's a lot going on in your life, and so let me stop right here with some great big all right. Thank you for taking the time to be with us tonight. Thank you for taking the time for being with your fellow classmates in the academy, because we're going to learn with each other and help each other. And I know that you had to cut out some time to be with us. That's so you were making room for us. You and your distractions will have everything to do with how much time and space you can give to getting your business started. It won't be the competitors. I don't teach you how to compete. And the more good business you have, the better you're going to be. But it's those distractions that's going to get you. So how are we going to learn to find more time for our business and for our customers? It's going to be in setting and achieving priorities. We just don't have to work at it and work at it real steady. Now, one of the things that I do in my life, and I've been doing it for 6 or 8 years now, to set priorities and try to get some things done every day, is when I wake up in the morning, before I get out of bed, before I can get my head off the pillow, I say to myself and think about the three things that I need to do. 3 things I need to do before lunch. And after I get up and get moving, get my coffee, get out here to my desk, I fight all the distractions I can to try to get those 3 things finished and accomplished before lunch. Usually I can do that. Sometimes I can't. Sometimes there's just too much going on. But having that as a goal, oftentimes not only will I get those 3 things done, but 5 or 6 more too. But if you don't have a plan and you're not constantly having in your DNA that you're thinking about it, it's not good. I have more people through the years come back to me and say, this little tip has helped me more probably than anything else that I do. All of us have heard of the to-do list and having a list of this and that we're going to get done as soon as we can. But setting 3 priorities before you ever get out of bed to complete before you have lunch, it's pretty good. Sometimes you have to push at lunchtime on over to 2 or 3 o'clock, but you can get it done. You probably haven't heard this term before, fair market value, and took it serious. But fair market value will have a strong thread throughout our entire series here because it is a law. It is the way that will determine, are we buying right? Are we selling right? Do we know what the heck we're doing? If you know and follow the fair market value rules, you'll be all right. So I want you to kind of memorize this and learn it really well. So look at those drill skills, because fair market value, we're going to always try to purchase below fair market value so we can sell above fair market value, and that way we'll know, even though we're new in business, that we're safe. So go ahead and study fair market value and make it a part of your vocabulary for small business. I'm going to be teaching the L and the H in advertising. This is my stuff. You won't find this on Google. The look and the hook. The look and the hook marketing techniques. The look is saying that we're going to have ads that look good enough to hold people's attention long enough for them to read what's in there. And as they're reading it, they're going to find the hook. And the hook is the call to action. That's the way we feed information into each one of our ads and encourage people to pick up the phone or send us an email or do whatever it takes to give us some money right now. You'll notice as I go along that I'm all about making money. I'll make no apology for that because we have to keep it on our mind as an entrepreneur if we're going to do that. So the look and the hook is going to help save you lots and lots of money and make your ads accountable so you don't waste so much money. Yep, don't take this wrong, but I'd like for every one of us to be a great hooker when it comes to the look and hook in advertising. So we'll have a lot of fun with that and really dive into that a lot next week. So business planning, having the right mindset, using all the tools that we can to put together a plan for long-term success. And our main ingredients in doing this is going to be a business planner that helps us set target dates, and it's going to be a budget to help us set stability, and we're going to take the budget and the planner, combine them into a business plan. But the good news is, if you really want to get into it tonight and you've already got your handouts or you just follow these slides, before this night's over, you can have a business plan to get started with. But first of all, I want to talk about the basic budget. You know, since you were 10, 11, 12 years old, your parents had you on some type of budget. We would call it an allowance back then, but it was the budget. A new business has to start out the same way, and it's really hard to write a business plan until you've been in business for a while to take all these guesstimates and estimates and hone them down to something that's real. But that budget we're getting started with is real right now. So let's just relax, lean back. I know I'm making a lot of noise here, and I want it now to tone it down so that maybe the stuff will start sinking in for you, okay? We're starting out with the real basics, elementary stuff. Let's say that you're after a revenue of $7,000, and of that revenue, you want things that you need. You're spending 60% of it, $4,200 for things that you need, and things that you want and really could live without, you're spending $2,100. So we've got some money left either to pay off debts or use for our savings. So bottom line here, we always need to consider in business the things that we need and the things that we want, and have that as a guideline for setting our budgets and for our planning. The same way with our customers. We want profit centers that really warm up to things that people need, and we want profit centers in our business for things that people want, because that is the basics of basically doing business. So we're at $7,000 now. But we want to increase, we want to grow our business, we want to grow our budget by $3,000, and which will move us up to $10,000 in revenue. So let us see how a little bit of change and a better business plan here, a bit more profit centers, can change so much, because when we do that, guess what? The things that we need, the part of that budget is moved down to 42% or only $4,200. The things that we want goes up to 48% or $4,800, and instead of $700, we got $1,000 to pay towards debt. So a little bit of increase in our profit centers that generate a little more money for us can make a major impact on the basic things that we want and need. We have to be careful that when we increase our incomes, we just don't automatically blow it all on things that we want, and that we also try to hold the things that we need down low to give us more room for that bottom line for more savings or more debts. So that's why it's important to get a handle on the importance of plugging in and taking out profit centers or expenses. Now, first of all, we're going to talk about 5 steps to putting together a good business planner for sustainability, which will play right over into our business plan. I'm using words here that really are all going to come together: budget, planner, plan. It all is ingredients in that cake for a successful business. So the 5 steps for the business plan: know what it is, why are you going to have it, have timelines that with mileposts and goals so you know if you're making progress. You want your models, and I'll use the word models a lot, so get used to it, models for each type of income or expense. Now think in your mind right now and forward that the model will be kind of like a Lego block that we can take in and out and put it how we need it, but it'll have a value to it. And then we're going to learn to connect those models and end up with our business plan. So that's the 5 steps that we'll be going through. So why have the business plan? Is to give us the information that we need before investing our time, talents, and treasure. It's the information that investors will need before they get on board with us. And it's a document that will be like a roadmap for us to help us show where we're going and how far along the path are we, so we can tell how far we got to go. But also, maybe the biggest thing that's on our mind, we want a business plan to help us avoid pitfalls and unexpected expenses. Because pitfalls and unexpected of a business are the Murphy's Law things that put entrepreneurs out of business and knock us on our knees in a hurry. So after 54 years, 64 years, I want to tell you that I have had a lot of pitfalls and a lot of unexpected expenses, and I will help you avoid them, okay? You stay with us. But the big question at the end of the day with a business plan is what's left? Is it red ink, which means you're losing money, or black ink? What's left? And then we get into the NDCP. If it's red ink, there's no demand change to plan, don't throw your business plan away. We'll see how to make it work. Now, maybe you are not looking at a full-time job. This endeavor you're thinking about getting into may be an extension of the work you're already in, an extension. Keep in mind, because we're going to go to chat for a minute, and I want y'all to put that. I want you to go to chat and say, this is just an extension of what I'm doing now, or another profit center. Or maybe it's a side hustle. That is what you're after is a side hustle, just an adventure maybe, some way to make some short-term extra cash. If it's side hustle, write that in. Maybe you want an actual standalone business, but it's going to be a part-time business for you. If it's part-time, type in part-time. Or I'm starting a new career. This is going to be a full-time business for me, and I'm really dedicated to it to see it work. How about typing in there in the chat board, let me know whether it's at an extension, side hustle, part-time, or full-time. Give me some answers if you would. There you go. Thank you, Pam. Okay, thank you. All right, full-time, getting a lot of full-times. This is unusual. Most of our classes are part-times or hustles, so this is really good. People that are in it for the full-time usually will want to attend all the classes so you can get all the help that you can possibly need. Very good. I've got a good feel for that. Thank y'all for participating. Money and time. Is this job that you're going to be doing your only income? Or is it a second job, or is it a third job? You don't need to type in that, because if y'all are full-time, it's going to be your main income, so I know that. But you need to think about which way it's going to do. How many dependents do you have? How many people are dependent on the income that you're going to generate? What is that as? Typing that in the chat to give me an idea of how large that family is, or how many people are dependent on you. Because you get back to that word we talked about earlier, committed. I mean, this becomes more and more important if you've got people depending on you to make this money. And we need to be committed and faithful to it. All right, we've got ranges from 2 to 4 going on up there. All right, might have another one on the way and some in college. I understand how all that works. Thank y'all for participating. So a good variety here. So that's why we take it so serious. Let me spend a few minutes just to talk about side hustles. Side hustles are really a good thing going on. That is when you're after some extra income. The good thing about a side hustle is you might want to treat it as basically a extra profit center in the regular things that you're doing. You may already have in your personal life a business plan going on. You may have your regular income from a job, or maybe some retirement money or such as that. And the side hustle is just going to be a little thing extra that you're doing under your main business. So doing a full-fledged long-term business plan for a side hustle may be ridiculous. But still, we'll show you how to put together the ingredients that you need to do that. I encourage side hustles. They're really good to help you have that second income, another profit center, another way to help you get along. And the good thing about it is you generally have less stress with a side hustle because you've already got an income that you can depend on. You've already got established contacts that maybe you can use, and it's a lesser way of getting into business at a lesser cost. So that's good. But here's the caution. I don't want you to come to my classes and get all pumped up and excited about getting a side hustle and go out and give it a lot of your time to see that it's successful at the expense of maybe your primary income now. People can get too excited and lose the job they've got with security while they're off beating the bushes on something new that's not proven yet. Always let's think steady. Let's think security. Let's think, well, I want to do this, but I don't want to take any risk. I don't have to. So think about the time that you're giving to the side hustle. Remember I said earlier, we want to set our priorities and try to stay with those priorities. And that'll help you a lot. Now, we want to talk about a pre-planner. Basically, what do you need to do as you're getting started to get your business up and running? What is it going to take from point A to point B? And your handout, I updated these dates, so we'll work through that here. But here's a 6-month list of things that will probably have to be done before you can start a new business or a new side hustle from start to finish. A lot of these items may or may not apply to you, but most of them will, okay? I suggest that we set up a 6-month plan, because that is a good rule of thumb how long it takes from thinking about starting a business to getting one started. But I can tell you from experience and from members of our academy that's been coming to our sessions now for 5 years plus, sometimes it takes 5 or 6 years for us to start a new business if we're doing it one step at a time and paying our own way as we go. So don't be disappointed if that's kind of the outlook you have, because that may be the safest path to success. Hey, that sounds like a webinar title, doesn't it? The safest path to success. You may see that later on. But let's get back here. 6 months. Your first 6 months, let's say we started in February. First thing to do is determine those products and services that you're going to do. Make a list of the things that you need to learn, the things that you don't know, and maybe most importantly is to create a menu of what you're going to be selling. Create a menu just like you go into the grill with what is the item and how much is it going to cost. That's going to help you get in your mind what to do. Now this is a starter and it will change a lot, but at least get the mindset going on. Now, in the next 30 days, let's think about the customers, the particular customer groups that we're going to focus on, and where are they? Where are these people? We want to think about that so we can start planning our marketing campaign. What are our startup costs are going to be? How much have you already spent towards getting started, and how much more money is needed to get to the finish line? Okay? And whatever that number is, it's going to grow, but we'll talk about it a whole lot more. In the next 30 days, and on days 90, we want to think about getting a bank, having a separate bank account for our business and a funding source if we need it. We want to think about if we don't have a location and we don't need to buy some insurances. Let's get that marketing campaign working on it and negotiate and learn how to negotiate and forecast and purchase the items that we need. We'll talk about all of those in the future, and I'll have lots of study guides to help you. After that, we're going to move on now to halfway there. We're into it for 90 days. Start marketing. 90 days away from when you're going to be selling, you need to get your marketing plan on place. We need to start getting some feed out in Facebook and our website or through email campaigns. Let people know the business is coming. Find the furniture and fixtures you need. Get any licenses or zoning codes squared away. Get your tax numbers. These are things that everybody needs to do to be in business. So we'll take care of that. Getting close now, you want to add your stock. Start getting it ready to present. Learn how to market it and price it. And price is going to be so important if you don't know how to price products. We'll talk a lot about that, next week and the week after. Train your staff and start maybe doing a little business. We call that a soft opening. Do some business, test everything, make sure you're up and going on. Because what you don't want to do is have a grand open or start working with a lot of customers and make a lot of mistakes. Man, that is taboo, because what you're doing is you're having a chance to meet new customers and you're running them off to begin with. We want to have a chance to meet new customers and create raving fans from day one. So important. One reason you want to stay in this training and learn all the little things to help you do that. Now it's time to kick it off. Let's do some advertising. Let's bring the people in. Let's start making calls. Let's start making money and relationships and raving fan customers and following up. Now remember, it's easy to get started. It's hard to stay in the race. And follow up means that you're going to meet this customer, create a relationship with them, and then use the monkey's on your back to keep following up to build that relationship and have chance after chance to do money and trade money. This is a 6-month milepost plan. You have a handout on it. So you take it and change the dates. Each one of these months may become a year for you, but you put dates on here that you feel good about. Because listen to me, you will not be able to meet your goals unless you set goals. And unless you set goals, you probably will just drag it out. But if you're setting goals and timetables, then your chances are better to stay with it and to let me know or let someone else know where you are on your timeline and what kind of help you need to get to the next step. That's what the Academy is all about. Through mutual help, and it's helping you get to that next step that you need to get to. Thank you very much. So that's your time planner. So Merry Christmas early. Right now, I'm going to show y'all how to do a several-page business plan, easy to fill out. It's been emailed to you, so you can put it right in your computer in a Word file and change it to suit your needs. And this is all the business plan you need to get started right now, and maybe even to go to the bank and try to borrow money. But that's a whole war in itself, and we'll talk about that in week 5. But right now, it's good for us to have a business plan to start working on and start building with. So you'll be able to take these pages right out of your handout, because it's just copied out, and fill in the blanks. Let's come up with a business name, and maybe you're not sure that's what it's going to be, but you come up with some name, get a starter, get an alias here, and let's put in a name that you think might be your business name. Then your name, your address, social security number, email address, such as that. In other words, identifying markers here. Then we're thinking about if you want for a loan application, you'll need to tell at least the following things, and also to get your business plan up and running. Tell about your products and their solutions to the market. Offer a description of the area that you're going to work in. Describe who you think your best customers will be, the type of work they're doing, where they live, their ages, just general information. What are the best seasons for your business? Every business does better in certain seasons. And right now is the time for you to consider what those seasons are. Now, I was talking with Anata earlier. She lives over in the mountains, close to Maggie Valley. And I want to tell you, Anata, that Maggie Valley, it's all about seasons there, right? They're about the apple season. They're about the leaf season. They're about the ski season. They're about the spring season. And they really know how to work the seasons, maybe better than any other place I've seen in the world. So every business needs to think about what their seasons are. Like I said earlier, I'm in the farm equipment business, and when the sun comes out, my customers come out. When it gets cold and freezing and raining, they hibernate. So I have to fight really hard to have business. It will be the same for you and yours. Whatever it is, think about the seasons, because that will have everything to do with our marketing. Let's get us a planned opening date. All you have to do is just write in, I plan to open on the date. So here's your first page of your business plan, basically. Next, we're going to ask for some short, concise statements. Talk about the resources that you have and what tools that you may need to get started. Explain how things are going to be used. Again, list down those profit centers, just one at a time, list them down. And then estimate your revenue for your first. I like to work with 6-month planners. You can use 2 months, a year, or 5 years, but you don't need to start estimating your revenues and expenses. That's what a business plan does. And we will actually work on that with our budgets. And then tell how much you've invested to date in the business and how much more you have on hand and how much you plan to have to borrow. I'm going to be able to help you come up with some different ways to fund your business, hopefully without going into debt. So that sounds interesting, right? So then you need to sign it. You want to attach a copy of the startup budget we're getting ready to talk about and a copy of your personal financial statement. And by golly, you've got a business plan. This takes very few hours to do. There'll be a lot of blank spaces and a lot of things that we know need to be changed, but it is a good start. I'm going to encourage you to keep it right on that same Word file. add your information in it, save it every time, and anytime you want to send me a copy of it for some feedback, I'll be glad to help you. But save your file and start building on it today if you want to. All right, that's your basic business plan. Congratulations, you're up and ready to get started. But now we need to get into the meat about how about the money. How's that going to work out? Let's talk about budgeting 101, okay? Here we go on that. So, the tools to create a budget. One, you need those marketable profit centers, an MPC. The profit center is how you make money. Marketable means we want profit centers that we can market, advertise separately on their own. We want profit centers that the one item will bring different people in. And the more profit centers we have, hopefully 5 or more, that means we're going to have at least 5 or more customer groups coming in. And then when we apply doing business as factors to these profit centers and rename them different names, our customer base will just multiply. Unreal how much it will multiply. So we want a diversified group of products. Diversified meaning we want a lot, but we want them to be separated. Remember when we were always connecting the dots? When we're picking out our profit centers, we want each one of them to be connected to the other, so we'll be able to say, and by the way, I've also got this. When someone buys one of your items, you'll automatically be able to say, and by the way, this and this and this will go along and help you with what your goals are. Think about when you go to Amazon and you purchase something. The very minute you say, make this purchase, or the very second, up from the bottom of the screen comes these messages. People who just purchased that also like this, 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 and this. They're saying to you exactly what I'm saying. And by the way, and I've been teaching this longer than Amazon's been around, so they might have heard one of my webinars, and that's why they do it. No, it's just good business. It's good business. What you want to do is to create more business with the same customers. That is the best way to stack your profits. To have a customer that's buying one thing from you and you very easily lead them into, motivate them into, by being aggressive, by offering the options, motivate them into buying the second or third item. What does that do? It makes them happy because they have completed their sale, completed their shopping. And it surely makes you happy when you increase your profits by seeing that happen. So we're going to list all of our profit centers and our income generators. Our tools are going to be these little connecting blocks, just as this song, just like Lego blocks that you put together. We'll have different blocks for income. We'll have different blocks for expenses. Now, we have to get right into here and be serious in that if you've got a for-profit business, a regular business, for profits, then your goals and income and the way you do your budgeting and the way you have your profit centers will be different. Will be different than a nonprofit business. However, most everything else that we're talking about in this series are the same, but when we're putting our budgeting together, our goals for profit and nonprofit will be different, and I don't tell you how that works. We had several people here say they were interested in nonprofit maybe, so you'll get a better picture for this. I want to say to you that just because the business is labeled as nonprofit, that doesn't mean you don't make money. No, you still have salaries and you still have a good income potential. It's just that your profits are not taxable, where in a profit business they are. Also, in a profit business, you're going to be the boss. You and your directors will have control over, or maybe just you. But in a nonprofit, there's going to be a board of the directors that will be looking over your shoulder all the time, and you have to get their approval before you make certain changes, including setting up your budget and business plan. But in a profit business, the individuals can do that. So let's look at this example that's on your screen of a for-profit business, and they've listed out, you and I have listed out what we project in the next 6 months we're going to be bringing in and taking out. what our income is. And we can see that our income are projected from new customers about $3,900. Our income from package deals that we're going to offer, $21,900. Income from big ticket sales, $56,000. So our total income is $82,600. Okay, that's pretty good. But then we go over now and start working on our expenses to do that. And we see that our expenses from different things, paying debts, insurance premiums, and payroll, we're going to spend $136,000. Wow. That means that this business plan or this budget is showing us losing $54,395. Well, are we going to throw it away? I mean, we're going to lose $50,000 plus. No, we're not going to throw it away. We're going to work on it and improve it so that we end up meeting our goals and the business is sustainable. So that's why we have budgets, so we can have our starting place and then start working on it and improve it to get to a better place. So let's say that we decided what we're going to do is we need to find $75,000 to make this budget work. So what I'm looking for is 3 new profit centers that will generate around $25,000 apiece. Why 3 and why not just 1? I kind of like not to put all my eggs in one basket. And by having a diversity of profit centers, that's, in my opinion, a better way to go. So if we add 3 profit centers generating $75,000, look how everything else changed. Now we've got a projected profit of $20,605 just by using our budget and our models to help us improve it. You'll be doing the same thing with your expenses. Every business is different and your blocks may look different than this, but this is going to give you a good guide as to how to start managing. And this is for a profit type business where you're buying and selling items and such as that. Now, your business plan will basically, or your business budget will look like this. Remember the profit centers that I mentioned earlier, the different types? The kind to increase daily traffic and new customers and repeat business, big ticket sales. You can take this blank sheet here that's in front of you, and you'll start filling in those lines on the right-hand side, and the black ink side, on where are your revenues going to come from? Where is your money going to come from? And actually design your profit centers to bring in revenue from the customer groups that you need. From those that are helping you bring in new customers, to those that are you targeting big ticket items. You know, build your business plan with real numbers. Well, with real numbers, but they're going to be estimates because we won't know till we actually get in business. But we can help you. Once you determine what you're doing and how you're going to put it together, things will start coming together for you. Now notice that the top half of this page is all about money coming in. That's the black ink. The back side or the bottom side of the page is about money going out, the red ink. And you had those blocks for your different expense items too, and you'll list them all down, total it up, subtract the expenses from the income, and then we've got what a business plan is supposed to tell us. And the answer to that question is, what's left? I'm going to tell you right now, it may be big red ink, it may be big black ink, but whatever it is, as we move forward and we get things moving on, you'll be able to start making adjustments and have a good feel for sustainability. Does this work? It does. I keep using this. I use this all the time, even now, after being in business for 64 years, and that I am constantly deciding that this item that I'm promoting is not making me any money. I need to kind of put it on the back shelf and bring in something new or create a new marketable profit center. And I'll use these same numbers, these same type lines to determine how much money I hope it will generate. And sometimes it's just amazing what one new item can do if it's hot, if it's what's going on now, and you're marketing at the right time, at the right season. So that's why that's really, really important. So now let's talk about nonprofit. It's good for you to have an idea of what's going on with those guys too, because they make up a lot of the world and do a lot of good work, and I really love to support nonprofits when I can. So the nonprofit in North Carolina, starting one in North Carolina, there's several steps that you can go through. I've got a handout for you that take you all the way through the different things that you need to do to get started. Glad to share that with you. If you have an interest in it, look at that handout, and it will tell you lots of information about step 1, 2, 3, and 4. And there's a video link to you in your email where these items are all talked about in a video. So take the time to look through that, and it's really important. The rules to start a nonprofit are different from state to state. And on the internet, you can generally say starting a nonprofit in Virginia, starting a nonprofit in New York, and be able to find what applies to you. What I'm using here, of course, is starting a nonprofit in North Carolina. So I'm giving you some videos, and one of the most important parts of it, one of the videos that is listed down here, is how are you going to get paid? How are you going to get paid? They go into it in pretty depth here, because that is the number one question most people want to know before they invest in starting the nonprofit. So this is a valuable handout to you if you're interested in going nonprofit. So nonprofit marketable profit centers are usually, they're not selling items usually. Nonprofit marketable profit centers are usually groups, people that are in need, special needs people groups, faith-based groups and churches, veterans and civic organizations, scouting groups, or PTOs and PTA. There's a lot of nonprofits out here, and you're just one that's starting up a new one, but there's some huge ones that's been around a long time. I've been very active in the American Legion, in veterans organizations and such as that. That's a nonprofit. Of course, your churches are nonprofits, scouting groups are as well. Your PTA and PTO groups at your schools are nonprofits. So they've been around a long time. There's a lot of people who know a lot about them. Maybe you're just getting started into this and don't know it, but I will assure you there's more nonprofits out there than you can shake a stick at. Examples of generators that they would use are not selling products, but they would be after grants, government and private and organizational grants. Foundations give money to nonprofits, business donors, private donors, memorial gifts, last will and testament. So there's a lot of different ways that nonprofits might find the revenue and the income that they need, which is totally different than for-profit businesses. And there's a lot of ways they can make money on special events, drawings, dances, bingo, turkey shoots, entertainment concerts, huge events, small events, different ways that they can find additional money besides from those donors. So the world's wide open to that, and that might create some good ideas for you and what you're doing, not only as a nonprofit business, but a for-profit. Anything that they're doing here as a nonprofit, you can also be doing as a for-profit business and making money for your business as well, and maybe generating some startup money even. So let's look at a nonprofit budget, because it is public, number one, and it is important. And in nonprofits, you set a budget and you stick to it. In your budget as a profit business that you're managing yourself, you set a budget and hope for the best and change it as you go. But with a nonprofit, you basically stay with your budget year to year. Now, I've blanked out some things here that will take away the identity of this is from a real nonprofit, very successful one right here in North Carolina that shared their budget with me. These are real numbers, and you can see the different types of money that this was dealing with and such as that. So in this basically nonprofit, looking down at the bottom, they basically had $136,000 in the total. They had let's see, the budget, and they were ready to spend $200,000, so they needed $64,000 more to see that new budget work. So here's basically what happened last year. They lost $19,000, and it's a pretty big loss that year. And in the projected budget, they're going to end up with $72,000 extra dollars. I mean, $7,200 extra dollars. And they did this by increasing their income or decreasing some expenses. But at any rate, with a nonprofit, the board has to sit down and work through the budget and be dedicated and determined to see that those dollars come through. Here's the way it looks like when you do it in the blocks. You'd use the same block issues in 2023. Spent more than $19,000 more than they took in, made changes to do that, just like we were just talking about. And in 2024, they're going to end up with $7,241. Now, of course, if that doesn't happen, they're going to have to change the budget again to see it. But they are making the changes through their budgeting to make their business plan come together. So be savvy, be shrewd, and make the adjustments as they're needed, and be dedicated to see that the right changes are coming. Now, business plans back to profits. A for-profit business is selling products. A lot of you will be selling products. A lot of us will be selling time for money. 3 different types of things we're looking at. Nonprofit, helping people. Selling products for profit. And lastly, selling time for money. Kind of makes this job kind of hard to be able to teach to everybody and touch every circle. That's why it's important that you let me know what items we need to go back to, spend more time on the future. So send me the questions and such as that, or revisit the video to let it sink in for you. Selling products. When we're selling products and building those model blocks, we're going to start out with a simple piece of paper that's going to say, what is the product? How much income is it going to generate for us, and how much is the money going to be? We'll just fill in the blanks for the individual product that you're selling, and you'll be doing a lot of guesstimating and estimating, but that's all right. Whatever it costs and whatever you expected, this is where you start by doing a model. You'll look at your estimated income and expenses, and then we're going to know what's left for that particular profit center, and that's the number that would be transferred over to the business plan page that we talked about earlier with the different lines on it. Remember, we'll have different lines for your different type product centers. So what are we going to call that number that's what's left? Well, if it's black ink, we're not going to call it profit. No, we're going to call it margin. We're not going to use the word profit till we get our complete business plan done, and that's the what's left down at the bottom of the page. So margin is the number we'll call that, okay? So as a pretense, let's say that one of these was to explain in a great business that folks get into for side hustles or new businesses or retirement incomes is the used car business. There's used car businesses everywhere, and the state of North Carolina has a pretty rigid set of rules that you have to pass to go by just to keep crook out of the business, and that's needed. But it's a good, solid business, and in every community, every crossroad community, you can usually find someone that has a reputable pre-owned car business, and they certainly needed them. When new car prices have gone through the roof, this business is becoming more and more important to folks. So let's pretend that we're all getting into the used car business, and this is the same principles and examples that will work with anything that you're selling product-wise, making the point of how to build your model. But in the used car business, basically you go to an auction, and they drive them through a building, and people back over here on the left-hand side, they're the buyers, and people over here on the right-hand side, they're the auctioneers, and whoever buys the car as it goes by, well, they end up with it. So they end up with it, they carry it back to their home or their car lot and put up some flags and fancy signs on it, and clean them up and brush them off and sell them for a profit. That's what the used car business is all about. Let me tell you that in pretty much across the United States, the most popular used car is one that sells for $6,000. Not $60,000, but $6,000. That's the most number of cars that are sold are the cars in the $6,000 range that people would buy for their kids when they get their license, a second car, a vacation home car, just get out of a jam. I need something that's better than walking. Generally, they can come up with enough money to make a monthly payment on the $6,000 car. Therefore, most used car dealers will have a large number of this variety. that $6,000 car is the bread and butter for most used car people. So let's say that if you've got a used car lot, the chances are excellent if you're in a pretty populated area that you can sell 15 of these cars a month. Okay, and using that as a sample, in 6 months you would sell 90. That means in 6 months you would sell $540,000 worth of these used cars just in this type by selling 15 of those a month. Generate $540,000. Now at the auction, you did not pay more than $4,000 for it. That was the determining factor as you were watching those cars go by. Can I buy this for no more than $4,000 and sell it for at least $6,000? If you couldn't, you'd let it go by until one came by that did. Because this was your budget, this was your plan, so you would stay with you, stay dedicated, stay committed to that plan. Now, if you bought 90 cars for $4,000, you would have spent $360,000 to make $540,000. Numbers get big in a hurry with these used cars, don't it? Therefore, in the 6 month period, you would have $180,000 margin just from that size vehicle. One profit center, $6,000 cars, would be generating $180,000 margin, which you would plug over in your business plan. What do we call it again? Margin. So are you with me? Now, this would be proved whether you were selling tractors or bathroom fixtures or whatever it is. You'll come up with how much you're going to pay for it, what do you think it's going to bring in, therefore how much margin will it present for you. That's going to give you the answers you need to put your business plan together. Selling time is a little more difficult because a lot of us do not know that what we're doing in our business is selling time. Well, it's pretty evident that that's what I'm doing tonight. I'm sitting here selling time for a couple hour webinar. But if I'm a doctor or a dentist or a pressure washer or someone mowing grass or someone cleaning homes or businesses, we're selling time for money. And that's a lot more difficult to plan and to budget. So I want to give you some tips. And I've been doing it for a long, long time. I've been selling products and been selling time for money for a long time. So rule number one, selling time for money, base your business plan on 4 days a week. 4 days a week. Base your business plan on being profitable, working 4 days a week. That'll be the way we're going to plan our budget, okay? So 4 days a week means 16 days a month. That's right. And so a month is a 16-day period that we're going to plan to make the money we need to make. So you'll set up your calendar, which right now, I'll tell you, your calendar is your most important business tool if you're selling time for money. Now, I'm using, for example, in the slide here, that I'm planning on working Monday through Thursday, 4 days a week, 4 weeks a month, Monday through Thursday, to make the money I need to meet my budget. To meet my budget. So here is words of wisdom. Your business plan, your budget plan needs to be created to create your goals. In other words, your goal is what's important here. And to get to meeting your goal, we'll change our business plan objectives and goals to end up with what's left being what you're looking for. So 4 days a week. Now, this gives you 3 extra days in the week. You got 1 day to cover what went wrong during the first 4 days, like a rainstorm or a wreck or canceled appointments and such as that. We need that safety valve to make up. The next day, we need to look after our business. In other words, these first 4 days, we were serving customers. We weren't growing our business. We weren't out marketing, calling on new customers. We were making money with our particular appointments that we had made. And the last day, the 7th day, is to go to church, to be with family, to have a life, to charge your battery, because charging your battery is so important, and just to keep things in balance, so to speak. So if you're doing what you have to do during the first 4 days, that gives you some flexibility to do other things the other 3 days. And sometimes that extra day is strictly about growing your business and going over the top, which gives you the opportunity to do it. If we're so tied up in our schedule that we can't see the trees because we've got our nose down in the dirt, you'll never be able to grow your business. So give yourself time to grow, and this 4 days a week, 4 weeks a month plan is the way that you go about it. And let me give you an example, and this will be quite helpful, hopefully, for Arnott and for other people that are selling time for money. You need to set a goal for what your weekly income goal to be for yourself or for your business, whichever way you need to set it up. And let's say this individual has decided, I want to generate $2,400 a week. That's what I want to generate. And I know that it's going to cost me at least $600 per day, or I need to generate $600 per day in a 4-week plan if I'm going to end up with $2,400. So you with me so far? Generating $600 a day to end up with $2,400 being the ultimate goal for the 4 days. So we'll go back and we'll set up our calendar again, and we'll schedule appointments, set up our appointments in our work in a manner that brings in the income we need. And depending on what we're doing, different types of appointments, some appointments may generate a smaller amount of money than others. Some may generate a lot more than others. But we know as a mindset going in that our goal at the end of the time that we were working on our business plan is to be generating $600 a day. And it may take a few months. It may take a year to get your clients and your appointments adjusted to the point to achieve this. But this is the heaven. This is the heaven for a selling time for money when you've got your appointments each day bringing in the generated income that you needed. So you see by these folks on Monday, they got some $150 appointments scheduled. On Tuesday, they got $100 appointments. Wednesday, they're doing their small jobs, $50. Wednesday afternoon, working in some large ones. On Thursday, they're doing their really big accounts to bring in a certain amount of money. When you're doing it like this and you're meeting your goal and now you're ready to grow your business, then you set up another calendar for a crew or a second person or a group of people, and you start making money with them as well. That's how you grow your business, at a certain schedule. Now, let me ask you as an example. Anyone's been to the dentist in the last few years, when you made that appointment, they are calling you all the time to make sure you're going to be there when you're supposed to be there. Why is that? Because dentists and lawyers and accountants and folks like that, they plan their schedule to put certain people in the chair that are going to bring in a certain amount of money on a certain day so that the weekly budget is met. They bring in people that have their teeth cleaned on a certain day and a certain time because that's an important part of their income. People that don't have things drilled or rooted or polished or pulled or something special to generate more expenses, they'll bring them on certain days that will help them meet that budget. The bottom line is, yeah, they're professionals, yeah, they're dentists, but they're going to run their budget just like you would if you're running a pressure washing business. It's all the same principle. You got to meet that budget and stay with it. You need to be committed to your budget. So let's look now at how to do this. Let's say this particular person, let's say that Danielle is with us tonight, and it's good to have you on board, that we are going to be in the graphic design and marketing business. Great business to be in. And your goal is to generate $600 per day, and to do that for 96 days, 6 months, and end up with $57,600. You notice your basically cost is $200 a day, and you're going to spend during that 6 months $19,200. That would indicate that in the 6 months it would generate $38,400 margin, or in a whole year that would look like somewhere around $76,000. What do we call this number? margin in the 6-month period. That's margin. So how would we achieve that? Just like we did back with the other type of appointments, you set it up. So remember that you basically you build your models into blocks. You determine if you got red ink or black ink down at the bottom, and then you make the changes you need to plug into your business plan to help you end up with the number that is your goal. Not necessarily the number that is there, because it's going to be there. But you also want to know what your goal is, so you'll make the changes to help you end up with what you want your business to be. Now, here's basically a graphic that one of our Academy members did for us, and you can use this. You can print it out on your computer, and you can just start penciling in items on revenues and expenses to help you get your business plan started. This is just a revenue to help you. Every business is going to be a little different. Every business will have different numbers there, but it's just a tool to help you get your budgeting started. So wrapping this part up, what are the things that we forget most often when we're planning our new business? What are the things that we forget? Oftentimes we forget to plug in taxes that we have to pay as a business. We have to plug that in as an expense, so always keep that in mind. And if your revenues, if you included the taxes that you might collect in your revenues, you got to take those out, because that's got to leave. That's not part of the money that you'll use in your plan. Interest payments. Always interest payments are in addition to other things. So maybe it's interest on your credit cards, maybe it's on loans that you're planning on taking out. So if you're planning on buying a $50,000 item and borrowing money on it, yeah, you plug in that $50,000 as an expense or a debt. But now let's plug in that $2,000 or $3,000 per year interest that it's going to cost you to be able to have that loan. Can't forget about doing that. We're all going to have some types of insurance, and it's easy to forget plugging those into your budget or business plan. Sometimes the startup expenses will put in that first initial premium, but we got to remember there's going to be a monthly premium coming after that, and that needs to be accounted for. When you add that $50,000 new vehicle, and you plug that in, and you plug in the interest that's involved in it, now we've got to plug in that $1,000 to $2,000 worth of insurance that's also going to increase your expenses for that new vehicle. We always need to plug in having some reserve money. We need a savings account. And as always in individual budget, you want to put away some savings. You want to do that for your company as well. Set up a line item in your operating budget. Make contributions to it. I'll tell you that some days you're going to have an unexpected expense that will wipe out your savings. It's just a part of being alive in the business world. And if you don't have any money set aside now as that, at least go ahead and get your a credit line set up. So if you have an emergency that you need some cash right now, you can get it. And on the plus side, you want to have that credit line in case you have opportunity to buy something, to buy some products to resell and take advantage of some deals. You want to have the way to make that happen. And you do that with a credit line. So how do you get a credit line when you're just getting started in business? Well, you take it in baby steps. First of all, you get your bank account. Then I suggest you get a debit card with your bank account. Whatever limit well, that's limited to your deposits. Then transfer that over to, after a while, change that to get a credit card with a limit. And as you stay in business, you can increase those limits on up until you have basically a credit line based in with your credit card. When you become established enough and you're showing some personal assets, collateral and or deposits, then you can go to that same bank that you had a good credit card history with and ask them to set you up a small line of credit to create that relationship and go forward from there. Setting up that line of credit will cost you $200 to $500, depending on how large a credit line you get. But indeed, it is good insurance for you. So when you are able to afford it, that's the right thing to do. Don't think ever that everything is perfect, because on those perfect days, it's the next day that comes along and Murphy's Law throws a curveball at you. So always keep your guard up. Always be ready to punch and to defend yourself, because everything is not going to be perfect. As a matter of fact, probably the most dangerous time is when you think things are going so well that it's incredible. I've learned through the years that your very best sales years, that were months that you're selling, and everything's good, money's rolling in, you've got to remember to keep your guard up, because next month you got to pay all the expenses that those increased sales started for you. So there'll be a big draw on your money after you have a big increase in your sales. So it's a good balancing act. A rule of thumb is we want our businesses to grow every week if we can, every month, every year, but we want it to do it on a steady pace, a slow growth pattern going up. That's sustainability. When we see ups and downs, big spikes, ups and downs, it's scary, and it's a sign that we need to make some changes. I'm going to tell you that because of seasonal business, those ups and downs are built into the nature of the business. So sometimes you have to be in business a few years before you really know that. But I don't tell you this, that diversity of those profit centers, having a lot of different things, and you have planned that you've got, number one, things that people want and things that people need. You do that because if you got things that people need, they will keep coming back to you. Whether it's good times or bad times, people will have to buy the things they need, and if you're the provider, that means you're going to have a steady income of business. It may not be anywhere close to what you want, but it will be enough to keep you in business. And then if you have things that people want, and you have that for the people that are coming in buying things they need, that means you're going to have a lot of, and by the way, I've got this and that, and your business will become more and more sustainable and less stressful. And that's kind of what we want: more sustainable, more profitability, less stresses, less headache, and more sleep at night. That's kind of what I've always liked to have. So, knowing without any doubt that your success is our goal. The small business centers are there for you. If you take advantage of them, you're smart. There's no charge for that service, and they've got a lot of resources. And again, if you are anywhere that you don't know where your closest small business center is in North Carolina, just drop me an email or put it over here in the chat, and I'll sure be glad to pass it on to you. I'm here for you, and we'll be here for you for the next 6 weeks, and look forward to working at you. We will have a lot of email going back and forth. I want to encourage you to start growing your business right now. Whether you're going to grow it one baby step at a time, or maybe you're able to take some extra leaps. If you're already in business and just trying to figure out how to get it up to the next step, and sometimes that's hard, let's talk about that. You have to let me know for us to do that. So again, but your success is our goal. What I want to encourage you to do is, as the sun's coming out and the days are getting warmer, is to let your light shine. Be happy. Let folks know that you're looking forward to working with them in business. You'll treat them right. You're going to take the high road, make the right decisions to try to help people get along. You know, that's what we need to do. We're not going to be bolster a lot. We're basically going to encourage folks to be the best they can be. So let me say to you, thank you so much for being with us tonight. God bless you and your family. We'll turn the mics on now. You're welcome to turn the mics on, and we'll chat, answer any questions that you have, give me any feedback that you would like. I can handle it. I went to handling school, and I'll look forward to chatting with you tonight, and hopefully that you'll look at all your emails, start sending me feedback on what your business is about. Maybe start doing some homework. The most important homework to start is your mission, vision, and promise statement. That really helps you become grounded and move forward, and will really help your customers see what you're all about as well. And then number two, to make this business plan work, is to list down your products in a menu type style, and then you'll be able to move forward into doing models on each one of those products. So any comments from anyone, I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much. God bless you and good night.
Thank you, Steve. It was a great time.
Hey, Pam, thank you so much. Any comments you'd like to make?
No.
All right, we're getting some
I was just
feedback.
listening tonight.
Sir Wanky and Payne and Kendall, glad to have y'all back with us tonight.
How you doing, Mr. Steve?
Thank you very much. All right, any other comments? All right, into the go ahead, Annette.
This is amazing. Thank you so much. This is really amazing. I have a couple questions. One is the question about a for-profit versus non-profit business.
I wish I could understand you. Our audio has gone haywire on coming in. I can't understand you. So
is that any better?
That's perfect right there. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. So, not-for-profit versus for-profit business. One of the things that stands out to me.
We're right back to no audio. I'm sorry.
No audio?
So, drop me an email or over in chat.
I'll email.
You want all the time you want, and I'll look forward to the time for you. We've got a lot of. Thank you. We've got a lot of first timers with us tonight. Looking forward to getting to know you and work for you, and hope things will go real well. Sir Lanky, good to have you on board. One of our top winners in our previous classes. So thanks for coming back. Glad to have you, no doubt.
Thank you.
All right. Any other comments? Yes, AZ, go ahead. AZ, go ahead.
Hey, how you doing? I just wanted to know. It seems like I was saying. It seems like this is a second part. And
I'm sorry, we're having audio difficulty, and I just couldn't understand you. I hope we can get this straightened out. But AZ, thank you for your comment. If you will, just put it in chat or send me an email, and I'll try to get things right. All right. Well, good night, everyone. God bless you. I don't leave the chat board up, so you're welcome to stay a while and chat in there. Put any comments that you'd like. Thank you so much, and look forward to seeing you next week.